It's time to dad.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Time to Dad. Special guest James Dennis joining us back on an episode. It's been a hot minute, so appreciate you popping back on with us. Yeah, I don't know what else to say, man. It's been a hot minute since you've been on an episode. So what's been going on in the world?
Yeah, I think the last time I had got on here was probably back in April, right after I had my baby.
Yeah.
So baby is now 5 months old. She's great. See, I've ever
Oh,
had.
shit, you better knock on some wood.
And
You just jinxed yourself.
Easy, baby, hard toddler. That's what's coming.
Hopefully not.
Did we lose you, James?
yeah, can you guys hear me?
We hear you.
Yeah, I think my audio source changed, but yeah. So I have a 5 month old now. She's super easy. She's sleeping through the night. And can't have haven't had any complaints really. She's probably the easiest kid I think we've ever been around.
Nice.
And other than that, I started my transition out of the military. I think 2 weeks ago was my officially last day in the military. Officially last day going to work in uniform in the military. My retirement's not until March. I'm doing an internship right now, as well as all my other real estate stuff that I have going on. But yeah, it's been a very fast year for me between having the kid and transitioning out of the military and all my medical appointments. Like I was telling you guys earlier, just had a colonoscopy. And any dad over 40 go get that done.
Do tell.
Wasn't
Dads want to know what to
experience.
expect with the colonoscopy.
Yeah, well, it's pleasant experience during the prep, but the actual procedure they put me to sleep. I woke up, didn't even realize that anything had happened. So that was
That's
super
nice.
convenient. But yeah, recommend anyone over 40 getting that done, and just take care of your health in general. Because I've spent 20 years not wanting to go to the doctor, thinking, hey, I'm going to get kicked out of the military if they find this thing or that thing wrong with me. And I spent the last year getting seen by every doctor in the world, and they keep finding more and more problems. So yeah, stay on top of your health.
Now, this was something your doctor said, "Hey, go get this done," or was it kind of like time? He said to get it.
Yeah, again, it's one of those things, right? Like you never want to deal. You never want to. I say you never. I never wanted to go to the doctor when I was supposed to, but Afghanistan really messed my stomach up. Eating like the local foods, eating all the like our MREs and those sorts of things is really bad for your gut health, right? So, I went to Afghanistan 15 years ago, 16, 17, 20 years ago, right? Like my last deployment was over 10 years ago, but my stomach has still been wrecked from it ever since. So I deal with IBS and GERD and, all kinds of colitis and all kinds of different problems. And I never actually like got help. So I started seeing a gastrologist about a year ago, and we had scheduled this colonoscopy about a year ago, but then the Army sent me away for a little while. And then when I came back, I rescheduled it. Just
Is that like a common thing? Like guys like from the military have like stomach issues later on. So
yeah, I think stomach and lung issues are two pretty common things.
okay. I never heard that before. I never like.
Have you?
It's like, but it makes sense. Like like you're literally eating what's supplied and what's there, and it's not like.
Oh yeah, and we're overprescribed anti-inflammatory medications like ibuprofen, right? Like if any little boo boo you get, it's like here's an ibuprofen. So I mean, for years I was taking 800 milligram ibuprofens a day, and that's not good for your stomach, right? So, yeah.
Okay.
Are you doing all that through the VA or like private healthcare?
No, I don't start doing VA stuff until I'm actually retired, right? But this is all in preparation for my VA disability rating, right? So everything that's wrong with me has to get checked out so that the VA knows what to compensate me for.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I heard the VA is a fun place to deal with if you're in the military.
Yeah, it's fortunately my local VA is supposedly pretty good.
Okay. I had a project at one down here, and I went to go on site to look at some stuff, and I literally spent every bit of 30 minutes driving around just trying to fucking find a place to park. There's a guy with like a cane that could barely fucking walk that's walking like 2 football fields away. I was fucking insane. The inside wasn't much better, but is what it is, I
My
guess.
audio coming in pretty decent.
Huh?
Yeah.
My audio coming in pretty
Yeah.
decent.
I can hear.
Yeah. No, yeah. It went out for a little bit for a second, I think, but we got you good. We got you good now. So how's it feel now? Right, because this is your second kid, right, Shane?
Second kid career.
Okay. So how's the is there you see a difference or a transition? How's your oldest doing with the transition?
I mean, she's great. She helps out a lot. She goes and gets us stuff, and well, she'll bring us diapers, or she'll like if my wife's cooking and I'm busy doing some work stuff, she'll like dance in front of the baby and keep the baby distracted, right? Like so, and the baby's like googly eyes every time her sister's around. So like it's like an instant attraction for her too.
Another small human being.
I can't even like the baby gets like extremely excited every time she sees her sister. Like it's like a noticeable excitement. So that's super good. My 5-year-old does get a little jealous, right? Like if I'm overworked and overtouched or whatever, and like I'm trying and like my wife's trying to do something in the kitchen and I'm trying to take care of Eleanor because Eleanor like the baby is in like the stage right now where she doesn't want to be put down. She wants to be held like nonstop. I think she's going to start teething. And so I can't give any attention to my daughter, my 5-year-old, then she gets a little, she gets a little emotional for that, but just as much as possible, I guess.
Nice.
Yeah, it's definitely fun. It's a hard. What's the age you get?
5 years.
5 years. Yeah. So they obviously understand and everything, but it's still emotions, and
Yeah.
I'm sure. I only have boys, but I'm sure girls' emotions are even stronger than boys' emotions.
Well, our daughter was a teenager when Emerson was born, and even she had trouble with it at times, not getting enough attention, and just him needing so much more attention and her not understanding like why mommy and daddy are all surrounding this new baby and not her. So, but it is nice to have a little helper.
She's been great. It's been awesome, and like my wife's already talking about having a third, and I'm just like, we're gonna have to hire a freaking nanny or something because
I just got done with my colonoscopy. Give me a minute.
I know, right? 40 with a 5-year-old is not for the weak. I have to tell you that.
Yeah. But does she want a boy, or she just wants to have another one?
She just wants more kids, I guess.
Yeah. My wife's been talking about the same thing. Actually, she's been like, getting ready. I guess there'll be 2.5 difference if it was about now. So it's kind of like what my first two are. She keeps talking about, and she wants the girl. But then if it's a third boy, then it's like, yeah.
Keep trying.
Fun.
Yeah. Next thing you know, Joe's got the Partridge family living in the house.
I have friends that are our age that they've been in the military the same amount of times I have, and they have 3 boys. And the oldest is in the Army now, and the middle child is just started college, and the other kid I think is almost starting high school maybe. And they just had another little girl. Like,
oh my god!
So finally got her little girl.
On purpose?
Yeah, on purpose.
Wow.
Like I don't know why they started over, but I guess she wanted.
I don't think I could get that far past like the raising a baby stage and then be like, all right, let's do that one more time.
Yeah. I think the mom surrogate for someone, and which is a blessing, right? With a kid. And then I think that just sparked some feelings for her. And then a few years later, they decided to have another kid.
Wow. Okay. So she was pregnant 5 times.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's an interesting thing. I mean, obviously being a surrogate, I know it's so important, and that's a tough thing though. That would be
Yeah. To have that connection for 9 months and then
Mm-hmm.
and pass
yeah,
it off at the end.
yeah, yeah. And it was somebody they knew, or
That's a whole
you know?
different level of
I'm not even-
postpartum right there.
I'm not even for sure.
Totally.
Not
Yeah,
for
like,
sure. I'm not for sure that whole situation, how they did it.
That'd be interesting to know. But yeah, I'm sure that postpartum, if like handling that emotion
Yeah.
on the dad, handling that emotion of the wife. Like, hey, it's okay.
He's not even my kid, and I'm getting treated like shit.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's
Well,
tough.
good for them, though. I mean, that's a pretty noble thing to do. So,
Yeah, good to them. And Nick, you got a new family member, right?
not yet. So tomorrow, we're going to visit the breeder, because Jen's doing a girls' trip next week, which is when we're really supposed to go and pick the dog out. But tomorrow we're going to see the puppies. I think they're 6 weeks old now. No, they're 5 weeks old. And basically, in the order you reserve a dog, male or female, that's the order you basically pick in. And so the next week is the week where she offers everyone a chance to pick, and you can go up and see the puppies first, or she'll send you photos or whatever. But my wife decided on a golden retriever. I don't know how we went from her absolutely having to have a corgi to settling on a golden retriever, but for whatever reason, that's the kind of dog she decided with, and over a corgi, I'll take that all day. So I wanted something a little smaller, like a pointer or something like that. But she had her heart set on a golden retriever, so that's what we went with. But I don't know. She said she posted she posted on her Facebook and was asking like if anyone knew a reputable breeder, and of course everybody came out of the woodworks, adopt a stray dog, and which our dog that just passed away a month or so ago, she was from the SPCA, and I got her when she was a puppy. But Jen's always had it in her head that she wanted Emerson to grow up with a dog from the puppy stage, and I think in the future we'll adopt again a stray, but it being Emerson's first real puppy, we wanted to get something that he could be rambunctious with, and the dog's not going to snip at him, and we didn't have to worry about what kind of bloodline the dog came from, and all that scary reality shit that you hear about far too often, just about different breeds of dogs and things like that. So I mean, I don't care either way. People can judge us all they want, but that's what my wife wanted to get, so that's what we're going to get. So we'll go down there this week and look at them, and then 2 weeks from now we'll go and pick them up and bring them home. So it's kind of funny because when I got my puppy, I was broke as shit and still going to school and working a full-time job. So she and I pretty much live like bums, and then we find out we're getting a puppy, and we're just like ordering all kinds of crazy shit online for the dog and stuff like that. But Emerson's excited, and I think it's distracted him a little bit from, Roxy, who's passed on. So I think that's always good. He's kind of excited about animals again. I think it crushed his little pet heart when Roxy passed away, because we talked about it on that other episode where he doesn't fully understand it, and he still misses her, and he's got his little pillow that we went out and bought with him in remembrance of her and all that good stuff. But it'll be fun. It's been a while since I've raised a puppy. I know I grew up with golden retrievers and labs, so I know they're nice family dogs when they get a little bit older, but getting to like the 2-year-old mark with them is pretty tough. They're really nippy dogs. They're really rambunctious. And even as adults, they don't know their own fucking size. So that's always interesting. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited to welcome another dog back into the house. I kind of told myself I wasn't going to get another dog right away. And then it's, not coming in the house and you don't have a dog standing there wagging its tail, happy to see you. You don't have a dog coming over begging for food scraps. It really was starting to feel empty in the house. I mean, Jen has the rabbit, but the rabbit's not not an overly social creature. So, it was just starting to feel really empty. So I noticed Jen had started looking at dogs and stuff like that. And so I was like, all right, I guess we'll start looking for a dog. And so we found one pretty quick, and the breeder has a really good reputation in all the different communities that she's in. So yeah, now we just have to pick a name, which we're also butting heads on.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, are you gonna let Emerson help with the name, or just?
Yeah. So yeah, we each picked, like, I picked 4 or 5 names that I liked, and Jen's picking 4 or 5, and I told Emerson the list, and one of the names on the list was Flint, and Emerson likes to play Minecraft, and the first thing he thought of when I said that was like the Flint and Stone from Minecraft. So he's hell bent on naming the dog Flint, and Jen's still coming up with names. So we'll see where it goes. I'm sure something will click once we bring him home. But
how did you handle? I guess right with your other dog telling Emerson and all that whole situation.
Oh, you missed that episode, didn't you?
I guess I did.
Yeah. So I actually talked about it on that episode, but I don't remember what the topic. Oh, I think the topic was exactly that. Like, how do you tell a 6-year-old kid that because she didn't just pass away in the night and we like kind of shuffled her out of the house. I mean, she when I had found her, she wasn't able to stand. She had peed all over her poor self and was just laying there. And a couple days before that, she had actually she had really bad kind of joints. And so we bought her one of those raised kind of like trampoline beds so that she didn't have to get all the way down on the floor and get all the way back up. But she had ended up rolling out of that one night, and I went back. We have a Ring camera or a Nest camera down there so we could keep an eye on her while we were at work. And I went back and looked at the footage because I found her one morning pinned between the sofa and her little trampoline bed. And her poor butt rolled off there at some point around like 3 a.m. And she pretty much just stuck there trying to fight and struggle to get herself unstuck till I got up at like 6:30, 7 o'clock. And then a few days later, I came home and she was just miserable and her breathing was fucking awful. And so Jen and I basically I say Jen and I made the decision because Jen wasn't going to make it, that it was just, she was 17 years old, which is, that's old as shit for any dog to make it that long. And so I made the decision that, if I don't take her to get her put down, one of these days we're just going to come home and she's not going to be alive. So maybe it was selfish. Maybe it wasn't that, I wanted to be there with her and have the family be there with her. But, I basically explained to Emerson that she was sick and she was going to have to go to the vet and basically may not come home. And so then Jen and Lily actually happened to be in town. So Jen, Lily, and I took her to the emergency vet and she was put to sleep. But then we had to come home and explain to Emerson that, I don't even remember what I said to him at this point, but we basically had to explain that she had to be put to sleep and, she's up in heaven with Grampy now and all that kind of stuff. And at first he was just kind of like, oh, okay. Because we let him say his goodbyes because we didn't tell him at the time, but we knew that was going to be the last time he was going to see her, because I think it really would have tore him up and been harder to explain if he had been there with us and watched him, inject her and watch her go to sleep and all that. I think that was tough even for our adult daughter to be there and witness that. I think was tough as hell. So I can't imagine what that would have been like for him to experience. But we came back home and we basically explained all that to him. And I don't think it clicked at first. He was just kind of like, okay. It took a good 4 or 5 days, I think it was, before, he repeatedly would come home and the dog's not there. And so he got really upset. And I mean, to the point of where anytime he'd go downstairs in our family room where she would be, he'd get upset. And so one of the things we did was we have one of those big, it's not a Squishmallow store, but they're like Squishmallows. They're basically like pillow stuffed animals. And so we were trying to find him. First, we went to Build-A-Bear because they actually had a dog, at least they did online, that looked like our dog. So we were going to let him do a Build-A-Bear and get the heartbeat thing put in the dog and stuff. And we thought that would help. But of course, all they had there were, I don't remember what kind of dog it was, but it looked nothing like ours. So we went to the plushy pillow store and he picked out it's like a 3-foot long pillow dog. And it was basically what do you call those hot dogs? The dog that looks, basically it was a wiener dog and a hot dog bun. And that was the pillow he picked out. And we have pictures of him the first couple nights, man. He fell asleep snuggling that thing hard. But I think he's over it now. And I think part of that is just being a 6-year-old and it's easy for you the past to be the past, right? You don't really dwell on things when you're that age, or at least I don't think you do. And he seems to be over it, but he's stoked to be going to pick out a puppy. He doesn't really understand why we're going to see them tomorrow, but we can't bring him home. And I'm trying to explain to him, like, the puppy's not old enough to leave its mommy. So, but it's fun. I look forward to the new chapter and just having that like playful energy back around the house and things like that. So,
yeah, anytime it's a new puppy, it's fun, right? It's more work.
Yeah. That's been fun to accept. We're like, you're going to have to, because he's old enough now where he can help train the puppy. He can take the puppy outside to go to the bathroom and things. And so every time we talk about it, he's like, yeah, I got it. And I'm like, oh, okay. Till you actually have to do it. And then we'll see. But I think it's a big chance for him to also start learning responsibility, because he would do things like help us get Roxy her food and water every day and stuff like that. But I think now he's old enough to have even more responsibility with the puppy. And so, I mean, if you know anything about golden retrievers, as long as you give them, as much love as you can, like those dogs will forever be by your side. They're very loyal and very sweet. And so I think that's part of why my wife wanted to get one, because I mean, you see, there's tons of movies like the story about the boy and his dog and stuff like that. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Well, I think golden retrievers are like that. That perfect dog for that type of stuff.
Yeah, I think part of
if it wasn't for their hair, I think everybody would get that likes dogs would get a golden retriever.
Yeah, that's why people are overbreeding the golden doodles, right?
Yeah.
Because you get a mixture of both.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, but part of me, I know like 75% of her decision was probably because they're very photogenic dogs. They listen really well. They have a calm demeanor. So I know the photographer side of her is like, this is going to be fucking awesome. Like, I can take some of the best photos ever. And then the other part of her is my wife's what the fuck, her love language is touch, right? And I'm a grumpy asshole. I'm not super touchy feely, so I think she's just looking forward to having a giant ass dog in the house that'll snuggle with you and shit like that too. So, but I think it was mostly for the photography reasons that she decided she wanted a golden retriever over a corgi, because they're not comparable at all. So when I found out she was looking at, because I have been against a corgi. She wanted a corgi for the longest time, and she had been asking when Roxy was still here, and I was like, no, that dog will be way too fucking, because my dog, she would just sleep all day. I mean, she was old, and sleep, eat, and hang out downstairs was like her life. And I was like, if we bring another young puppy home, Roxy already had anxiety from the time Emerson was born. I was like, if we bring a puppy home, like she's not going to last long at all. And so I'd been putting it off. And then I put it off again because I was like, man, I really don't want a fucking corgi. Like, that's not a. I don't. When I wanted like a dog, and when I think a dog, it's not a corgi. So when I saw she was looking at golden retrievers, I was like, yep, all right, let's go get a dog. So, yeah, that's what we're doing.
Corgis are walking tall.
Do what?
The corgis are walking tall.
Yeah, well, I mean, golden retrievers aren't the healthiest dog, but yeah, definitely better than some other breeds.
Yeah.
But I tried to explain that to her. I mean, we have a rabbit that she took the rabbit to get her eyes checked out. It was $800 at the vet, because they're considered an exotic pet.
Yeah.
And so for $800, she got the rabbit's eyes looked at. They gave her some sort of eye drops to put in it, and that's all we got. And it didn't even fix the problem with like she has really thick fur around her eyes, so they're not tears. The rabbits secrete some kind of shit from their eyes naturally, and it builds up in her fur and gets yucky. And Jen was like, man, I can't pay another $800 for some goddamn eye, because they won't give them to Jen again, even though Jen can say the same fucking thing's happening. They want her to come back in, which is another $400 visit plus $100 and something for eye drops. I mean, it's wild, dude. And I was like, we are never getting
eye drops from my dog. My dog had red eyes.
I was like,
once,
dude, we're not getting another fucking rabbit.
And $800.
Yeah, no.
Don't
get a rabbit, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, we've had them. This is actually this past year. This is the first time we haven't had them in 8 years. And like I know
a rabbit.
My son keeps asking. Yeah. We had two. We bonded them, and they had their own room and everything. It was actually weird. The first one, when my wife was pregnant with my first son, died then. They had cancer. It was like we rescued our other one, and then the other one died when my second son she was pregnant with my second son. It was like the same, but that was like crazy. He was just that, because again, exotic, and not many people would take care of, so you got to take him in a special place, and he was just not breathing well one day, and we took him to the vet. They did what they had to, and they called and they said, hey, he's all good, everything's ready to go, if you want to come pick him up. And then 5 minutes later, they literally called my wife and said, I'm so sorry, he just had a seizure. And
oh my god.
Yeah.
The fuck? Yeah, that was it.
I'm a pet of an animal that I eat.
Yeah. No, I tell my every time that rabbit does something stupid like chewing on fucking cords, I'm like, man, you're gonna come home, I'm gonna be eating rabbit stew one night. No, but the other thing while she was at the vet is her rabbit. Well, she does two things. So anytime you pick her up or she's cleaning herself, she does this weird fucking grunting thing, which the vet was well, I mean, she's a chunky, big boned rabbit, so that's just her like struggling to clean herself. But she also does this really fucking weird breathing thing when she's just kind of laying in her pen. And apparently that's how rabbits snore, when they snore really loud. And my wife had been bugging me for like, I don't even know how long, about her doing that breathing thing. And they were like, yeah, she's just snoring. We were like, okay. Yeah. So at least the $800 vet visit also helped us sort out those mysteries.
Yeah,
but I don't recommend. Maybe it's because, I mean, the one we have now is she's a French Lop, and the one she had before was a lion head, and they're both like, they are exotic rabbits. Like, they're not the common field rabbit you can like buy at the state fair and stuff like that. So I'm sure that had something to do with their health issues, but they poop a lot, they pee a lot, they chew on shit they shouldn't, and they shed a lot.
Yeah, they do.
And if you have a dog, your dog will think the rabbit is pooping Pez and follow it around the house eating rabbit turds. Which our vet told us, like, there's nothing, it's not, It's just fiber. That's all they fucking eat.
Toxic or anything.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, I still don't want my dog like chewing on rabbit turd pez. But that's what they'll do. They'll follow them around, thinking little bits of kibble are being dispensed out of their butts.
Better than the kids. Better than the kids do.
Yeah. Hold on. You want to talk about? We were talking about what Chat GPT mentioned. What was it, like crazy dad moments that happened recently?
Yeah.
So I was out here editing one of the episodes, and my wife was still inside putting my son to bed. And about 20 minutes after I got out here, she sent me a text, and she had stepped in poop in the hallway. And I was like, what? Like poop from your son? And she was like, yep. Apparently he just got up off the toilet without wiping and started walking through the house, and I guess crapped upstairs on the hallway floor, and she stepped in it. Which I thought was fucking hilarious because I wasn't in there to clean it up, but she wasn't happy.
Yeah, you were in there. You're not. Was it barefoot?
Huh? No, she's forever fucking cold, so I'm sure she had socks on.
Okay.
But yeah,
that's not as bad, but
no,
still I'm doing the half.
It wasn't as bad as like a baby diaper blowout, but with a 6-year-old, you don't expect to turn the corner and step in a log in the middle of the hallway.
A 6-year-old would do that.
Yeah, he's developed
a boy thing.
Oh my God. He went from like streaking all over the house to where on Thursdays we have soccer and baseball. So right after soccer, we got to jump in the car and go over to baseball practice. And he's in machine pitch now, and they require him to wear cups. So he doesn't want to wear the cup for soccer because if you've ever worn a cup, you don't want to be doing that much running with a cup in. It's just not comfortable. So he puts it on when we get to the car from soccer. And this kid went from like streaking all over the house, all over the yard, like, not even a year ago, to now all of a sudden, like, I've got to run interference while he's in the back of the car with like, window tint you can't see through, but he's freaking out that like somebody's going to see him. And I'm just like, oh boy. But he still doesn't understand what a cup. I'm trying to explain to him why he wears a cup, and he just doesn't. I guess he hasn't been hitting the crotch hard enough to understand like why you need to protect that region yet. But there's a kid. Coach put his kid in tonight at catcher with no cup in, and kid took one to the crotch. And I was like, why would you put him at catcher? Luckily, it was a bounced ball, so it wasn't, humming in there at full speed. But I was just like, oh my God. And I just looked at my son, and I was like, this is exactly why you are wearing a cup, so that does not happen to you. And he goes, oh, like walked back out in the field.
We didn't start wearing cups until, I don't think we started wearing cups until high school, but we definitely should have been wearing them in middle school. Ball.
Yeah, no. Back when we were that age, though, we didn't have they don't have the super flexible, comfortable ones. They didn't have an extra small or a small youth size. I think it started at adult sizes. So there really wasn't, until you got to wearing that size, you couldn't wear it.
I never played baseball, so I never that was never.
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys don't wear cups in soccer.
No, in soccer. That would definitely be uncomfortable. Occasionally you can get somebody will get rocked.
Does that happen? People get kicked in the crotch.
That definitely happens. But even the ball too. Like I'll never forget my buddy Ron in high school. I think it's JV soccer. He got solid line drive right to the nuts, and the next day he was pissing blood.
Oh,
he was
wow.
Yeah, he got it good.
I got rocked a couple times wrestling, but wrestling you can't wear a cup anyway, so it is what it is. But yeah, it's definitely not a fun place to get hit.
No.
I caught a cleat in the crotch. Somebody sliding in the second one time.
Nope.
Did you cup?
I did not have a cup on. This was like 8th grade.
So that's why you're not wearing cups, and they should have wore cups.
I don't know. I think I was probably 12 or 13 before we started wearing them. We had to wear them for like the upper little league once we got into like faster pitching.
I mean, does it hurt like when they're like 6, 7, 8? Like, I don't remember like as a kid like that young. Like,
I mean, if you get hit right in the chicken nuggets, it's gonna hurt no matter what. I feel like.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But does it hurt like the same way where you get the feeling in the stomach like that? I mean, you're that young, or is it more of like a puberty thing that starts?
I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to have a specialist on to talk about the anatomy of the testicle.
Yeah, right. I don't know. That or somebody's kids have to get that's a T-ball.
I don't know. He got hit today, and like he immediately just balled up, and I was like, everything I could remember, and I was told by like the trainers when I got hit was you gotta stand up and you gotta keep walking and stretch out your groin because you're never right. The first time it happened, I just went into the fetal position. It just hurts more and more until you do that. Mm-hmm. So I let him lay there for a second, and then I got him up and told him to walk and crab walk and stretch it out, and he was all right. But yeah, it's not fun. And I had literally, because he almost got hit a couple pitches before that, and I had literally said, "You're wearing a cup, right?" And his dad at the pitching machine was like, "Oh, we forgot it today." And I was like, "Oh my God, like why are we doing this?" It's a 42 mile an hour pitch out of the machine, so it's not exactly being just lobbed in there like regular coach pitch. It's got a little heat on it.
Yeah, that's got a decent amount of speed. I mean, listen, I wouldn't want to get hit by that. That way.
No, I don't. When we don't have a catcher, I don't. I've seen coaches stand behind the batter, but I've seen those kids foul it enough to know, like, if I don't have catcher's gear on, I'm not getting behind there because not trying to get popped by it. Yeah. I've already been hit in the face by one baseball pretty good. I don't need it to happen again. Huh?
Yeah, last year you got right.
I think that was that or was it 2? It was like 2 years ago, I think now.
No, because we were shooting the podcast.
No, it was definitely last season, wasn't it? It was early, like start of last season.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I do not recommend taking a professional foul ball to the face.
Yeah. That doesn't sound fun either.
No.
Listen, if any dads have some good stories of balls hitting balls or feet hitting balls or anything like that.
Balls hitting. You're opening us up to some interesting stories talking about balls hitting balls.
Since we're on the topic of balls, I should plug my buddy's crypto project that he's got going on. It's called Balls or Ball. I don't know. I had to come back on the next podcast about it, but it's about men's testicular cancer, and it's a whole crypto coin, like a meme coin that he's got going behind the project. So
in support of cancer.
Yeah, and then there's even one she's got balls, like for women's stuff. But yeah, I don't remember all the details.
We must know more. Maybe we can put it in the episode bio.
Yeah.
I'm all about new crypto adventures.
Yeah, I think they just went live actually this week, next week.
Are they on Coinbase?
I don't remember. I think they're going to be on WEEX weeks.
Okay.
I mean, use that.
They're I don't know. I'd have to get all the details and
do it. Well, shit.
It's interesting.
We're due for another specialist episode. Maybe we can get him and some other crypto guru type people on the episode.
Bring him on.
There we go. All right. Well, we were going to talk about fall, but we kind of started carrying on about pets and then getting hit in the chicken nuggets. So maybe we'll save that for next.
Chicken nuggets.
Yeah, we got a few more episodes before Halloween, so we can get something in the works.
Yeah.
But thank you guys. Shit, we're going to talk about fantasy too. But thank you guys for hanging out with us. As always, like and subscribe. Come hang out with us on the Facebook group. Leave us some comments, like the video. And we'll see you guys on the next episode. See ya.